Hello there, good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast. It's Tuesday, the 12th of January. I'm here in my house with my dog Tsuki. Tsuki is schmooking around on the floor. She might stick her head up here. I don't think so though. We'll get the Tsuki Cam out later, and I'm here to keep you entertained for 20 or 30 minutes. What are you doing? And yes, hey, there she is. So that's the story. That's my story for today, and we'll get started here. I have a interesting little mix of stuff for you today. So this first one is a real classic. Not the one you think it's going to be. We'll hear the lonesome whippoorwill. He sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is whining low, and I'm so lonesome I could cry. Never seen a night so long as time goes crawling by. The moon just hid behind some clouds to hide its face and cry. Did you ever see a robin weep when leaves begin to fly? It means he's lost the will to live, and I'm so lonesome I could cry. Silence of a falling star, it lights up a purple sky, and as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry. From the repertoire of the great Hank Williams the first, senior. Just a beautiful song. And I just want to mention something. Elderly Instruments, which is a huge musical instrument store and music store in Lansing, Michigan, and one with which I've been very friendly over the years because I'm from Ohio, and I knew Stan Werbin, who started the store before he started it, and My good friend Chris Reitz worked for them for decades, and I bought a bunch of guitars there over the years. Anyhow, they're doing a little thing where they, every week or so, they put up a little 5 or 6 minute instructional video on their Facebook page. And they just did one with me, and it teaches a little figure that I used there in I'm So Lonesome that goes do 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 do. And that figure can get used a billion different ways, and you could watch that 6-minute lesson and learn how to do it. And I saw a couple people on there go, oh gee, that's over my head. It's not over your head to learn 3 new chord shapes, just 3, and then just mess with them until you get something out of them. So don't sell yourself short if you thought that was over your head. So this next song is a Norman Blake song. And therefore, well, Norman is a good finger picker too, but he's mostly known for his flat picking skill. So, and this is a story song. It's a wonderful story song of the Old West. Billy Gray rode into Gantry back in '83. There he met young Sarah McCrae. That wild rose of morning, the pale flower of dawning, the herald of springtime in his young life that day. Sarah, she could not see the daylight of reality. In her young eyes, Billy bore not a flaw. Knowing that her chosen one was a hired gun, wanted in Kansas City by the law. One day a tall man came riding across the Badlands, lay to the north of New Mexico. And he was overheard to say he was looking for Bill Gray, a ruthless man and a dangerous outlaw. Now when the deadly news came creeping to Billy fair sleeping, there in the Clarendon Bar and Hotel, he ran towards the old church that lay on the outskirts, thinking he'd climb to that old steeple bell. But a rifle ball came flying, face down he lay dying, there in the dust of the road where he fell. And Sarah, she ran to him, just cursing the lawman, accepting no reason, knowing he was killed. Now Sarah still lives in that same white frame house where she first met Billy some 30 years ago. And the wild rose of morning is faded with the dawning of each day of sorrow that the long years have sown. And written on a stone where the dusty winds have long blown, these 18 words to a passing world say: true love knows no season, no rhyme nor no reason, Justice is cold as the Granger County clay. True love knows no season, no rhyme nor no reason. Justice is cold as the Granger County clay. Just felt like playing a little bit of whiskey before breakfast there at the end. So let's look at the God, I don't know what to call it anymore. Let me see. Guy Davis calls it the Scrollerini, and now Alex started calling it the Chatteroo. I think I'm just gonna. There's Alex now. I think I'm just gonna look at the chat box here. And I saw my old friend who goes by the name Mary Ellen here. That's Mary Bear. And let's see who else. Burks was first man in. Steve Snyder, Tom Dietz, John Robinson, man. Gary Wingard, Terry St. James, Debbie Lipster of Vasallo. I haven't seen you in a while. From the deep freeze in Madrid. It's cold over there, huh? It's not too bad here. And Big Dan just called me Tolly. I don't know why, but, you know, he has his ways, I guess. And Susan Cattaneo. Hi, Sue. And Jeff Blumenthal, Rusty Leisenheimer, S.A. Tudhope, Deborah Levy Clark, Judy Wong, Barcelo, all my favorite people. Osling Bain, Marlene Burke, Chris Mealy, Mike Verbick, Debbie Moore, Margot Lemieux, who I called Mario Lemieux by mistake the other day. Mario Lemieux is about twice as tall as Margot Lemieux. Bob Walker and Donna Zach Beal and Teruchika Kamea and Dave Current. Anna's birthday. Happy birthday, Anna. And Kathy Marzik. And Margaret Innes. And Jim Moore, my old buddy. Jim Moore owns Nelson the dog. Is own the right word? Jim Moore is the housemate of Nelson the dog. And Nelson is one of the few dogs that Tsuki the dog will tolerate. So that's a great tribute to Nelson. And Jill Chernick, my sister-in-law. And I hope you're doing well, Jill. And Jill has a new grandbaby, I believe is the case, which is cool for her. And Charlotte Cantrell is here from California, from Pasadena. And Nancy Lefton. And Kate Petrella from Florida. And John Sprouse, who's more local to me. And Steve Edmonds from Berkeley, the Free Republic, the People's Republic of Berkeley. And Donna Greenberg and Bruce McNeil. Man, there's a lot of you guys. And David Arthur Ratcliffe and Maddie the dog, I assume. And Carol Pratt. I'm getting to know everybody's dogs on this stream. And Slim Edelman. And Matthew Ryan. Haven't seen you for a while. And Amy Roach, who stops by every now and then. Kathy Craw from Canada. Rhonda Scott Merrick, who's part of the cafe, the Kokomo Cafe. And as I said, Mary Ellen, my friend, who was a real angel during Janice's last days. And Lauren Payne. And Lauren, I look every day, but it still hasn't come. I'm sorry. And Alex Bevan, my good buddy, and he's going to be here tomorrow at 3:30. And John Robinson says, love Norman and Nancy. He was a huge influence on my flat picking, as he was for all of us. And Ann Mintz just got here. I saw her this morning. And it just goes on and on. Susan Kohuth, Carol Pred, Barbara Dean. That's all. I've got to play some music here, or you guys will desert me. You'll just wait until you hear your name, and then you say, okay, I'm good. I'm out of here. And speaking of people who love to hear their name, I don't see Kit Serikaku here. So I don't know what's her story. She's probably come in late, but her sister is here, Lauren Payne. And I'm going to, and Eddie D's dog is named Scooter. There was a dog named Scooter who used to come to the cherry tree when I had Max the dog. Max the dog was my first Australian dog. And Scooter and Max, they both got flagged from the cherry tree, which was a folk music club in a church parish house, for fisticuffs. Max and Scooter got into it in the cherry tree, and the staff said, "Nope, no more. You guys got to stay out of here." So they were friendly, but they, sometimes they had a disagreement. It was just the way it went. Okay, so I'm going to play you an instrumental that I wrote. It's called So It Goes. Not to be confused with the Billy Joel song And So It Goes, which was covered by my friend Tommy Emmanuel. This I wrote, and the "So It Goes" phrase, in case you don't know, originated with Kurt Vonnegut, the wonderful author, and you can go back to I think it shows up first in Slaughterhouse-Five, and you can figure out what it means by going back there. So it goes. So it goes. Okay, so now I have a bunch of announcements for you. Tsuki's playing percussion over there. It might be a good time for the Tsuki Cam. Let's do the Tsuki Cam now. Let me see here. There she is. She's over there chewing vociferously on her little bone. Hey, Sook, you want to look at the crowd? There she is. Smile for the people. Okay, you can go back to chewing your bone now. You're a good girl. Okay, so we bring this back around this way. We'll get up here. That's got to go down. Oh, there you can see Sarah Steele's beautiful painting. It'll show up later. That's got to be there. There we are. We're good again now. Okay, so announcements. Number 1, Colorado Roots Music Camp. This is a camp I teach at in Divide, Colorado, way up above Pikes Peak, and or below Pikes Peak. I'm not sure whether. Anyhow, it's at like 10,000 feet. You have to bring your own oxygen. We truck oxygen up there in oxygen container. No, it's not true, but it is low on oxygen. But it's a great camp other than that, and I love the people who run it. I love the people who come there and study. I do have to say it's my second favorite camp, because Sam W. is just as good and has oxygen. But Colorado Roots, we're doing an online Colorado Roots music weekend next weekend, the 23rd and 24th, and you can go to coloradorootsmusic.com and check it out. I'm teaching a couple courses, one on starting to learn how to play Great American Songbook stuff, jazz standards, and another on solo blues, on this kind of that kind of stuff. And a bunch of my friends who are great musicians are teaching there. Tim May, who is a great flat-picking guitarist. Steve Smith, who plays with Tim a lot, who's a great mandolin player. Raul Reynoso, who is an excellent bluegrass player and Django-style player, gypsy jazz player, and singer. He's like the whole package, Raul. And Cozy Sheridan, our friend who we watch every week, is going to be teaching songwriting. And there's a bunch of other people. Sylvia Harold, who's a great guitarist from the West Coast, she'll be teaching there. My friend Tom Schaefer, who's a terrific fiddle player who comes to Winfield all the time, is going to teach a fiddle course. I'm trying to think of who I'm forgetting. Jennifer Scott, who's another great singer from Vancouver, I think, and her husband Renee Wurst, who's a terrific bass player. They're both going to be teaching there. Louis Mock, who's a local there in around Colorado Springs, who just can play anything. He's just wonderful too. And I'm trying to remember, see if I'm forgetting anybody or remembering everybody. But anyhow, you might want to think about that if you want to spend a little time studying up. I think I've mentioned just about everybody. Katie Glassman is teaching Western Swing Fiddle, so there's that too. Okay, that's all I got about that. So that's coloradorootsmusic.com. You could go there and sign up and have a class on Zoom. Okay, then next thing's up. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You have Kokomo at 10 in the morning, Alex at 3:30 in the afternoon, Claudia Schmidt in the evening, and Frank Fatuski in the evening. And I think they're both at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure. You have to choose between them. On Thursday, you have Kokomo in the morning, and you have me in the afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kokomo's always at 10. I sometimes forget to mention this, but Sally Rogers, every day at 4 o'clock, she does one song. She comes on. She's usually on for 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes or something like that. And she's been around doing folk music forever. She's a real folk music warrior. So she picks great songs to sing and puts them across great. So think about her too. 4 o'clock today, and I think 7 days a week, but at least the weekdays. So that's all the announcement stuff, and I think that leaves me with just one more song. And this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Tsuki's playing percussion. You can hear her over there. Somebody asked if I actually have a microphone on Tsuki. My microphone is right here. Tsuki is about 6 feet away. She's socially distanced and she's wearing a little dog mask. No, she isn't. She's not into that COVID stuff. She's not an anti-masker, don't get me wrong, but she just doesn't think dogs are vulnerable to COVID, and she's apparently right. So like that. But my microphone is a really great mic, and even though I have the settings on it set up so that it only captures sound from this side, it seems to capture Tsuki's vociferous bone chewing pretty well. So you might be hearing that. It's ambient noise, ambient music. So Tom Waits This is not the key I've always played this in, so we'll see how well I get through it. It's the key of B flat. So, guitarists know that B flat doesn't have any notes of its own. They actually have to borrow notes from the other keys to play in B flat, which is why most guitarists don't want to play in B flat. But I'm up for a dare, so here we are. Tight slack-clad girls on the graveyard shift do the cement stroll, catch the midnight drift. Cigar-chewing Charlie in his newspaper nest, grifting hot horse tips on who's running the best. And I'm blinded by the neon, don't try and change my tune. I thought I heard a saxophone, I'm drunk on the moon. Well, the moon's a silver slipper, she's pouring champagne stars, and Broadway's like a serpent pulling shiny top-down cars. Larimer is teeming with that undulating beat as some Bonneville goes screaming its way wildly down the street. And I'm blinded by the neon, don't try and change my tune. I thought I heard a saxophone, I'm drunk on the moon. Hearts flutter and race, the moon is on the wane. Tarts mutter their dream hopes, the night will ordain. Come dancers and schemers, cherry delight. And there's a Cleveland-bound greyhound, and it cuts through the night. And I've hocked all my yesterdays, don't try and change my tune. I thought I heard a saxophone, I'm drunk on the moon. That's Drunk on the Moon by Tom Waits in the key of B flat. And it's the show for today. I don't think I have too much else to say. If I start talking about politics, I'll start foaming at the mouth, so we don't want to do that. The only thing I'll say is the 14th Amendment is not supposed to be, if you want to use it, use it. It's supposed to be the law. Read it. So I will hope to see you guys. I'll see you as I'll be a fellow listener with Kokomo and Alex, And then I'll be back in the driver's seat on Thursday at 3. So stay safe, stay sane. You already saw Tsuki. We'll switch over to the Halo cam. I give you my blessings. Stay safe, stay sane. I said that. And if you get cranky, take a nap. And keep the faith.